If you're tired of your bank ripping you off, click the link below to learn about our sponsor, Current, which is an awesome alternative to dealing with big banks. I'll tell you more about them at the end of the video. We are in a 100-year global pandemic, and our president is dramatically mishandling it. So I do want to keep you apprised as to what he's been up to for the last 72 or so hours. Donald Trump spent the weekend at Camp David, did a Fox News virtual town hall on Sunday night. And then he basically took yesterday off. If you look at Donald Trump's schedule for Monday, you find nothing on it. And yet yesterday was a really big day in a sense. We are fighting coronavirus. We learned of documents from the CDC and FEMA. Told you about the documents earlier. They predict that we will spike to 3,000 American deaths a day by June 1st. Hopefully not true, but certainly something to be taken very seriously. We found out states are rapidly running out of unemployment money. We found out that states without enough social distancing are starting to see large spikes in cases on a percentage basis. The numbers may still be relatively small, but percentage-wise, you are seeing sometimes the case growth double from one day to the next. So we learned last week that even when Trump does do work, he often is showing up at noon after watching TV for 5 to 7 hours a day and sending out outrageous tweets. Yesterday was a clear schedule, except for nearly 24 hours of rage tweeting, 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. OK, I mean, we're talking about 19 hours of tweeting here, all day and night spent tweeting outrageous attacks and untruths, starting with attacks on the press bright and early, saying, quote, Concast, as he calls Comcast, should open up a long overdue Florida cold case against psycho Joe Scarborough. I know him and crazy Mika well, used them beautifully in the last election, dumped them nicely, and will state on the record that he is nuts besides bad ratings. So attack on MSNBC, attack on two specific journalists, media people, Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski. 3 attacks. It's like 6:30 in the morning. Then Trump goes directly into talking about his coronavirus ratings, another obsession, saying, quote, getting great reviews finally for how well we are handling the pandemic, especially our strong production of desperately needed ventilators, the building of field hospitals and beds, and soon the great things we are doing on testing. People are really working well together. Understand that 1,200 people died on Sunday. Another bunch died yesterday. And Trump is tweeting about reviews, ratings, and getting credit. This is a very sick person. This is an acutely unwell individual. Trump bragging then about something which actually has been a huge accomplishment for him, which is one of the main reasons that it's an emergency to remove him in November, which is judges. Donald Trump tweeted yesterday, Republicans love the biggest tax cuts, rebuilt military, choice for vets, which was an Obama program, by the way, saving Second Amendment, and many other things my administration has done. But what they love beyond all else is 252 so far federal judges, not including 2 great Supreme Court justices, a big record. Trump is right. Trump, in collusion with Mitch McConnell, have put in place judges, hundreds of judges who will decide law and cases for your children and grandchildren, in some cases. That is how long they are going to be in power. He is right about this one, and he must be stopped. Then Trump attacking California, saying Mexico is sadly experiencing very big virus problems, and now California, get this, doesn't want people coming over the southern border. A classic. They are so lucky that I am their president. Border is very tight, and the wall is rapidly being built. So to date, to this point of the day, he's attacked MSNBC, Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski, and California, as well as bragging about ratings. Then Trump again bragging about testing, a favorite topic. And if Trump is talking about testing, you know he's lying. He said, quote, by Congress not wanting the special 5-minute testing apparatus, they are saying that they are not essential. In any event, we have great testing capacity and have performed 6.5 million tests, which is more than every country in the world combined. Remember, we have the receipts. The United States is currently 41st in testing per capita globally. We're behind Canada, but we're ahead of Belarus. We have 331 million people. Testing 6 million means that after 2 months of this, we've only tested 2% of the population. What matters is our testing rate, not the number of tests. We are 41st in the world. Our death rate, on the other hand, is the 14th highest death rate in the world. Don't take my word for it. Go look up the numbers. Then later last night, Trump attacking MSNBC again, but also CNN, tweeting, MSDNC and fake news CNN are going wild trying to protect China. And then this was really late last night. It was like 1 a.m. But it's so insane, I'm going to count it. Trump very triggered by a new political ad against him with a multi-tweet rant. Get a load of this. Trump saying, this is rage from a president in the middle of the night. It is very acutely unwell. It's a sign of Trump being ill. Saying, quote, a group of rhino Republicans who failed badly 12 years ago, then again 8 years ago, and then got badly beaten by me, a political first-timer 4 years ago, have copied, no imagination, the concept of an ad from Ronald Reagan, Morning in America, doing everything possible to get even for all of their many failures. You see, these loser types don't care about 252 new federal judges, 2 great Supreme Court justices, a rebuilt military, a protected Second Amendment, biggest ever tax and regulation cuts, and much more. I didn't use any of them because they don't know how to win. And their so-called Lincoln Project is a disgrace to Honest Abe. I don't know what Kellyanne did to her deranged loser of a husband, Moonface, but it must have been really bad. John Weaver lost big for Kasich to me. Crazed Rick Wilson, who's been on this show, lost for Evan McMuffin McMullen to me. Steve Schmidt and Reed Galvin lost for John McCain. Romney's campaign manager lost to Big O. And Jennifer Horn got thrown out of the New Hampshire Republican Party. They're all losers, but Abe Lincoln, Republican, is all smiles. The unintelligible rantings of a lunatic, a triggered lunatic. So it's a day with nothing scheduled for Donald Trump after his weekend at Camp David, riddled with nonsense on Twitter, during which he attacked MSNBC, CNN, Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski, California, some Republicans, Kellyanne Conway's husband, George Conway, Republican strategists, Rick Wilson, Steve Schmidt, Evan McMullen, Mitt Romney's campaign manager, whose name he doesn't know, and Jennifer Horn, while bragging about his coronavirus ratings and lying about coronavirus testing. This was just Monday. He also spent the weekend rage tweeting with all sorts of different claims, including that journalist Nicole Wallace was thrown off of The View, quote, like a dog. That is the president of the United States, thanks to 60-something million Americans. We must act in November. It's no secret on the show that I am very critical of the big banks and how they screw over customers in so many ways. And if you're like me, you're probably sick of the fees and the hassles that come with a checking account at a big traditional bank by now. In that case, check out the online bank Current. They're one of our sponsors. If you're watching on YouTube, this here is my actual debit card for my Current checking account, which I'm holding up. With Current, you've got no minimum balance, no overdraft fees up to $100, no ATM fees. You can use over 55,000 ATMs nationwide. Unlike with other banks, you receive your direct deposit instantly, meaning you'll get paid by your employer up to 2 days sooner. You can deposit checks instantly using your camera phone, 24/7 member support, and unlike with other banks, Current instantly refunds that hold on your card when you pump gas. You can pause your debit card instantly, which is really useful. There are just so many different advantages to ditching the big banks and instead use a bank that puts their members first. It takes 2 minutes to sign up. They'll immediately ship you your debit card for free. Go ahead and get started by clicking the link down below the video.